Welcome to the Filmsteins, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmsteins. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $20 tier grants the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmsteins, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. All around you. So welcome back to the Filmsteins with this episode. It's a mildly special episode, right? Sort of a legacy special episode, because it's about a franchise that's kind of started back up, right?
That's true.
So I'm joined today by my forever co-host, the Scream Queen, Lucy. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
We'll be talking about Scream 6 today, the sequel to the requel, 2022's Scream. This is a re-sequel. Kind of a...
Re-sequel? Requel?
Did you like this one?
It was okay.
More than Scream 5, the last year's?
No. I didn't like this one more. By a lot.
By a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got that impression. You said something after the movie. I didn't like it as much either. By quite a bit. It was a little more ambitious, for one. I didn't like the jumping around, going around the city so much. It was a little messy, I think.
Yeah.
What did you think of the first Scream? Do you remember? Just your, 5-sentence thought, kind of. Remember that? Did you like it as much as Scream 5?
No.
Okay, so Scream 5 is your favorite of the three we've
so
saw.
Far, of everything I've seen.
That's fair.
My favorite.
Scream 1 and 5, Jenna Ortega's first one, is very good, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not like Scream 6 that much at all. I was a little, I don't want to say annoyed. The first thing that kind of screams out to me is I kind of hope Jenna Ortega starts to flex her range a little bit. Although, she's the same character. Is her name Tara? Is that her name?
Yeah.
This one? She's the same character as last year's Scream, so of course she's got to retain her terrorness, but I'm getting kind of tired of Jenna Ortega's typecasted characters.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, her probably most unique role is the little girl in Jane the Virgin.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Wednesday.
No. Even Wednesday, I think it's
yeah.
along the lines of you and this.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else. I
That's
feel like
funny.
she's in something else recently. But no.
She's in that movie on HBO called Fallout? Is that what it's called? With the shooter, school shooter?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's the same exact character, though.
And that X movie, what was it called? Is it just X?
X, and she's virtually the same character there, too.
Yeah. I think where she stands out the most, or not stands out. She stands out in quite a bit. But I just think it's different.
Yeah.
Is Jane the Virgin, young
That's
Jane.
funny. That's so funny, because that's probably her first role.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So, what are your high-level thoughts of Scream 6?
I was bored.
Bored! Oh
Yeah.
my god, that is the worst thing you can say about a movie.
I mean, I have a guilty pleasure with horror films.
It seems like we've discovered that.
And, I loved the first Scream. Or not the first one, the 2022 Scream.
Yeah.
Scream 5. I'm going to just call it Scream 5.
Scream 5.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But I love that one. It had, all the jump scares I wanted it to have. It had all the characters that I didn't want to die. The right reveals. I feel like it had a very fast-paced story, but cohesive. Nothing too crazy. Like, what is going on here? And I felt like, like you just said, it was in a city. What was it, New York? Is that where they were? I think.
In 6?
In 6, yeah. I think they were in New York.
Yeah, it was a bigger city. Was it New York? I can't remember exactly, but...
And, I mean, it was just everywhere. It was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And probably one of the most boring scenes, which I don't think it was meant to bore me, was in the subway.
The subway scene?
Yes, that was oh my gosh, I was just like, okay, I get it over with.
Yeah.
And it kept going and kept going.
That's
and
funny.
Then
It
eventually
did drag on.
Yeah, eventually that girl got stabbed, and I'm like, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got it. Next.
Yeah, I know. It lasted so long. You're like, is anyone actually going to get stabbed
Yeah.
here? Like, we saw how many cuts there? Back and forth, probably like 5.
Oh my god.
It was kind of funny. That's actually funny that you say the subway scene was what really kind of stuck out to you in a way that just was like, okay, like this is not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually one of my favorite bits in that subway scene was the like dramatic doesn't feel right, like hyper kind of, I'm not sure how to say it, but the lights flickering at the rate they were on the subway, because I imagine, that's kind of a trope with subways, is the lights flickering and stuff. Yeah. But they were like flickering hardcore, and I was just like, that's kind of fun because I think that happens in real life. My my gut feeling tells me that is, but I feel like it's really flickering right now, and so I liked the like exaggerated nature of that.
Okay, I liked the extras, I guess, the other Halloween creepy monsters that were dressed up.
So basically the production
cameos.
Design.
Yeah. I like some of that, but overall, that scene, I was just like, all right, cool, got it.
No, I feel you.
Next.
I feel like that was the case for a lot of the movie. It felt like there was a lot of build up for something that really wasn't a lot of payoff.
Yeah, if she wouldn't have gotten stabbed,
that may have been better. Actually, that may have been. That may have worked a little better, and that would have been in the spirit of Scream, because how many times in Scream are you cock-blocked basically from a scare, or like you get scared in a way that's not actually scary? This intense thing is building. You think someone's gonna be behind the fridge when she shuts it or whatever, and no one's there, and then she opens the cabinet and then she shuts it and nobody's there, and then she opens the front door and then nobody's there, and then she opens up something else, and then her friend's there. It's like it's not what you're expecting. But it still kind of scares you.
Yeah.
I don't think we got any of that specifically, because that's all over the first Scream and 5.
Right, and that's my favorite.
Yeah, that stuff's awesome.
The fridge one, especially in Scream 5.
Was that in 5? I couldn't remember if that was.
Yeah, that was in 5. I'm sure maybe it was in the first one.
It might have been. They're kind of cookie cutters of each other, but they're still so like. They're still so good on there by themselves. Yeah. It's just.
But I love that. That's when like one of the first jump scares. And I guess it's not really a jump scare. It's like an anticipated jump scare in that one. Did we see that in the movie theater?
That's a good question.
I think we did.
I don't remember if we saw that in the theater.
For some reason, I'm remembering we did, and I just remember that's like what got me hooked, and I'm like, all right, I'm.
That's awesome.
I'm in this.
That's awesome, and the intro too. What was the intro of Scream 6?
Okay, so the intro was that girl, which I kind of like the intro. Is that girl wearing that yellow dress? That professor, I guess she was a professor of the film class, and then gets lured. That's a hard word.
That's funny.
She gets
lured. No, you don't say that a lot, probably. Lured.
Lured by her date. Lured out by her date.
Yeah.
Who's the killer, and then he stabs her, does his killer thing, and then he takes off the mask. And for a second, I was like, holy crap, we're gonna get to know who the killer is right off the bat. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like that, and I like that.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought they were going to kind of take the new Halloween approach. I think it's called Halloween Ends.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of took the perspective of the new killer. And I thought that was going to be kind of a fun callback to something that's immediate, that happened so recently. And something that's like, it's fresh. I don't know, but definitely not explored all that much.
Not done a lot, yeah. And I thought that's where it was going, which I am not one for guessing who the killer is. I'm just in it for the adventure. I don't even think about who the killer is. I'm just wrong. I'm wrong on so many levels, so I just don't even think about it anymore. That's why I was like, okay, I wouldn't mind knowing who the killer is, but then that is also the trope. That is the thing. Finding out who the killer is. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think that would be a higher level of that anticipated suspense that I kind of like from these films. Like knowing who the killer is, and then the characters Sam and Tara not knowing who the killer is, but I know, and then it's like, oh no, they're in the same room. Like, I don't know. Could have been a fun spin.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been mad if
instead everyone was the killer. That's where we went with this. Everyone who's suspicious was the killer. That's where we landed with this. I don't think I've seen Scream 2, 3, or 4. At least it's been a very long time since I have. And I don't know if that's done there, where, you have just surprise everyone who's suspicious is the killer kind of thing happening there. I don't know if it's a copy and paste situation like it was in Scream 5 and 1. But I guess, what did you think about that ending? Surprise, we're all related.
Yeah.
Surprise, the guy you killed in the first one is also related to us. It's like, are you joking me?
So I haven't seen all the films, so I don't know a lot of the Easter eggs and a lot of the, like stuff that would just pop out to you in these kinds of films. But yeah. I didn't like it. I didn't like the ending at all. It was just too much. I didn't like that they all stabbed each other in a bunch of places and nobody died.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that the guy, the boy, whatever his name was, got stabbed like a million times. Yeah. By Tara. And he still was coming back and he was still alive. Yeah. I'm like, what?
He's not Michael Myers.
Yeah.
He's not Jason Voorhees, He's Ethan.
Yes. Eating hot Cheetos. What was he eating? Just Cheetos?
Yeah,
think? Like,
that was
Ethan eating
stupid.
Cheetos. He needs to die. And then I think there was a maybe a bad edit. I don't know. Where
probably
Jenna Ortega got stabbed in the rib area, and I'm like, this is it. This is where she dies, because I had predicted earlier or when the film started that she was gonna die.
You thought Jenna Ortega was gonna die?
I thought she was gonna die, and she got stabbed in the ribs, like in the organ. I'm like, yes, she's gonna die, and then no one said nothing.
Yeah, when they were,
she wasn't even hurt. Like
when they were out by the ambulances, was she even bandaged up in any way?
I don't remember.
That was
She wasn't limping. She wasn't like.
Well, Ethan got stabbed 15 times, and I guess we're just immune to the stabbings.
Like Chad.
Yeah, Chad should have been fucked. How did he live?
How did he live?
I'm glad he lived. He's kind of the only likable character.
I am too. I'm glad he lived too. But how did he live? Like, if they would have just done that with him, all right, that's okay, Yeah. And I like that they were the core 4, whatever, and they all lived. Cool, but no one was dying when they should have been dying. So I guess that was a big problem I had with the ending. And then them all being related, and then them killing off Quinn. Was that her name? The roommate?
Yeah, at the very beginning, yeah. Or close to the beginning.
Yeah, and then they killed her off. So it's like, oh, okay, she's eliminated from the suspect list. Wait, she's back. And I'm like, what? How are you going to make me guess? How are you going to make me how am I supposed to have fun? And then you're doing this.
It just screams lazy storytelling.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
I'd like to know more about the story writing process, but the girl who plays Sydney, Neve Campbell, she was asked to come back, of course, right? And apparently they weren't going to pay her very much.
Yeah.
And so she was like, nah, I'm worth more to Scream than that, which is
true.
I mean, yeah, it's like, I don't know why.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm sure I hate to say it, but her demands probably weren't that much,
Yeah.
It's Scream, aka a horror movie, aka it's a niche thing, Horror movies never really can break out into that mainstream. And so I don't know why they wouldn't have. I don't know why they even tried to humor the controversialness of it like that, but they did say that she's welcome to come back in future installments, which just seems kind of weird to me that they're just gonna let that be open like that.
Would the film be any different?
I wonder what the story would have been with Sydney involved.
Yeah, where would you have plugged her in?
Yeah, I wonder how much was rewritten. What if she was?
Well, in 5, her and Gail are like the tag team, which I thought that was an awesome killing scene, in Scream 5 when they burned him. They burned one of the ghost faces in the kitchen. I thought that was awesome. So, I mean, maybe a tag team kind of duo with Gail.
Yeah. I did read that they considered making Gail the killer.
That would have been cool. That would have been a cool angle, but just, I don't know if it would have made sense. They could have made it make sense, I guess, but...
They could have tried. So I guess the
better
sequel...
than everyone.
Yeah, better than everyone are all simultaneously nobodies.
Yeah.
They aren't... Like, they try to bring some legacy into it, which is required for this kind of move, that they're all related to Richie or whatever his name was from the first movie. It's just like... Does that... How do you describe that that's just terrible storytelling? That it feels so shoed in, right?
Yeah.
Like, we just don't know where to take this, probably because Sydney didn't get involved. Neve Campbell, she didn't get involved, and so they're like, shit, where do we take this? I'm sure they had deadlines at that point, but it looks like the sequel to this might set up Sam being the killer, so it's kind of a similar turn if Sydney would have been the killer or something.
That's true.
What do you think about that?
Oh, I would like that.
So you think the sequel to this, the tie-in to fill out the trilogy, you think that final movie could work out? With
Sam being the killer?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I liked, her dark side that we saw a little bit,
They've built it up. That's the one thing they really keep building at. And it seems like she kind of needs a snap. She sort of did here, briefly. So it feels like that's going to be a very natural next step. I just hate that we took this movie to get to that next step, because it sounds like that third movie actually has the potential to be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of times where they gave us Sam having those thoughts, or, seeing her father, talking to her, kind of cheering her on to do these evil things. And then she's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Like at the end where she like looks at the mask and she's like thinking about it. And then Tara's like, Sam, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, nothing. And then she drops the mask. And I'm like, I wish they would have hinted a little more. Maybe like her just hide the mask under her jacket or something. Like nothing, and then just hide the mask. Or like throw something on the ground that wasn't the mask, but like we think it's the mask. Something like that. But
yeah.
We did see the mask, and they zoomed in on the mask. So, but I just wanted a little more confirmation, I guess, just for my sake, because that would be awesome.
That would show too much foresight into the future of what's going to happen. It doesn't seem like a lot of filmmakers have I don't know what to call it, but kind of artistic kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say artistic integrity, but it feels like it. They have this vision,
artistic foresight.
I hate to say that over and over again, but
yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I guess I'm going to be bringing it up over the course of a lot of episodes, but there's just not a lot of vision for the overarching thing, it just sucks. I hate it so much.
Yeah, maybe they missed like the brainstorming session where it's like the 5-year plan,
Yeah, unless this movie really did just hinge on Sydney being there, which I don't know.
Why even have a movie though? Or
I know why
not pay her if you're depending on her?
Or why not just skip to the third one? At this point, like, because you built Sam's psychoticness quite a bit in the first one too. Especially in the first one, we're challenged with, is Sam actually the killer?
I mean, the ending where she kills Richie and she's stabbing him and doesn't stop stabbing him. Yeah. Whoa, I get it.
We could have had a 1-2, part 2, part 1, part 2 kind of movie happening here, but we had this weird divergent kind of thing going. Not a fan. Mm-hmm. After talking about it with you here now, I think I like this movie even less.
Oh, wow.
I didn't like this movie very much. I
feel the same.
It's a sore spot on the Scream franchise and horror, in the horror genre, but what was your favorite part? Favorite scene? Yeah, did you have one?
I don't know if I would call it a favorite scene, but kind of. I don't know. So it's when she goes to therapy and the therapist is trying to get out of her, like, what happened? So they can,
I forgot all about that.
So he can help her.
Yeah.
And then she tells him, and then he's like, "Whoa, no, no, you gotta get out of here. I'm gonna call the cops. Like, you're crazy." I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd consider that my favorite scene. I'd probably have to think about it a little bit more because nothing immediately jumped out that, as a favorite scene. Maybe also when Sam is staring at her father's, like, a costume cloak thing and the knife in that little glass display.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, her father pops up and, like, I don't know, is trying to show her the evil ways, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
I like that. That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
But the therapist scene, I just thought it was funny that he's just like, "Nah, man, get out of here." She's like, "What? I thought you were supposed to help me."
Yeah, was it supposed to be funny? That was funny.
Yeah, I don't know if it was supposed to be, but if it was, good job.
Yeah. I thought I guess right after that, I thought the house party scene was kind of silly too.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Bad setup. I guess the therapist scene feeds into the same setup, but I do like that scene better just because it just had a funny thing. Like it just felt a little bit off, and it felt kind of in tune what you'd expect from a Scream movie. But that house party scene was just weird. It didn't feel like it fit anywhere in this movie. It felt like a different movie. And I get it. They kind of were coming at the angle of like, we need to move on. Jenna Ortega's character even says, we can't let the past, hold us back. And
I guess that's what they were trying to show with that scene, that she's kind of acting out, like taking it too far. Like, oh, I'm going to live and I'm going to go hook up with this dude that's obviously not, good for me or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to party. Like, I guess that's what it was trying to show us.
Yeah, for sure.
But, okay. You could have done that.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was...
Or she could have just said, we need to let the past be the past, and then, boom, got it.
It came off a little silly.
Yeah. And in the therapist scene, I like that he was like, we've been here, 8 months or however long, and you haven't told me what happened. And then the next second, she's like, okay, here's what happened. It's like, oh, wow, it was that easy, huh?
I guess he never asked before.
He never asked.
I guess to tie back into what you said about Quinn just coming back, tell me how Quinn fell off of that ladder. And
no, Quinn didn't fall off the ladder. Oh, wait.
Yeah. I guess it wasn't really a ladder, but when they were like going across from flat to flat.
In the beginning?
Yeah.
No, that was that girl's girlfriend. I don't remember her name. She was just one of the rando suspicious. Because it was 3 suspicious people. It was Quinn, that rando girl, and then she was like Asian looking, I guess. I don't remember her name. And then Ethan.
Oh, wait, Quinn died in the house.
Quinn died in the house.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that girl. I don't remember her name.
Oh my god, I thought Quinn fell off the ladder. That whole movie.
That's even better. We should have had Quinn fall off the ladder.
Yeah, if we're going to make it that absurd, I guess we might as well just make her fall off the ladder. Oh my god, I forgot about the girlfriend.
I mean, she was just there for like 2 seasons.
Yeah, they wiped these people out quick.
Yes.
That was fun too, but you lose the foundation to have meaningful storytelling beats when you just immediately kill everybody. They did. They killed everybody right off the bat. Even Quinn. He's super mid film, not worth the money to go to see the theater. It did. No. I think it did decent enough actually. So we will see the third one for sure.
I mean, I'm sure people were excited for it. I was excited for it.
Yeah, it was
after
too.
That, the one before this, Scream 5.
About $35 million in budget, and it made $139 in box office so far. So it probably flatlined around 150. So it did really well for a horror movie. So, which is funny because I was also reading that they planned on doing. With Scream 4, they planned on doing 2 more after to have that second trilogy. That was, it was all written out and stuff, but Scream 4 did piss poor in the box office. So it just immediately died on the vine.
Huh.
It's just kind of funny that it's been brought back, and I don't know how those numbers compare to the old ones. Something tells me it's probably bigger than ever, just because I feel like the things that are like remotely big kind of are blown up in weird proportions.
Yeah.
Especially, I guess, Jen Ortega is kind of becoming more of this household name and superstar, which is a little odd to me. I don't know why she's blowing up. Is it just the Wednesday PR cycle thing, or what happened? I feel like after Wednesday, boom, Jen Ortega is just the biggest young star there is now. You feel me?
Yeah. Honestly, I think after You, I think she made a big
She was good in You.
splash. I think that was her coming out.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a good
Like,
it's
oh
a good
shit,
breakout
she's
role
a
too.
good, and keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
And then especially after Wednesday, but who knows?
Yeah, she's doing good. I just hope she can flex her range a little bit.
Yeah.
Whatever that means to her. I hope she doesn't just fall into that thing that kind of like Zendaya has fallen into. Zendaya still has the chance she has, with the exception of Euphoria, which maybe is the only exception she needs because she's amazing in Euphoria, Zendaya.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like she needs to kind of flex her acting range a little bit too, because she plays that same, it's like almost a modern manic pixie dream girl kind of character with this e-girl kind of spin, and just I don't know, it's just so boring to me. But she's got Euphoria, and Euphoria is one of the greatest pieces of television ever.
Yeah, I don't know about that, because I'm trying to think. She's in Dune, and then she's in the Spider-Mans, and I mean, like, she was a Disney kid.
Forget about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what other roles she's had.
Yeah. Well, do you have any more final thoughts on Scream? Not a super thought-provoking movie for me. I liked it. The least of the 3 that I have seen. I'd probably give it a 1.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I was thinking too.
On my letterbox.
Oh,
in that range.
That's funny. Is this the one that they said letterbox?
Oh yeah. What do you think about that letterbox?
I just looked at you and I was like, nerd.
Hey, I just love letterbox because of just the crazy ability to log it all away. I love the lists. I love the numbers. I love that you can manipulate and honor the normal distribution curve. I love it. I love that you can follow people. I love that you can see their scores. I love that you can see their lists. It's so very cool, and I highly recommend people to check out the app for sure. It's a lot like Goodreads.
Yeah.
Except I think it's much better than Goodreads, simply because it's just
because people watch movies and not read. No,
just the UX, the user experience is just far superior than Goodreads.
Yeah, I agree. I probably give it a 2 on my Letterboxd. Letterboxd, is that a D?
Yeah, just a
letter
BOXD, not
Boxed.
Yeah, like an ED, but just a D. Yeah, Letterboxd.
Yeah, give it a 2, which is funny because I think that's what you gave Mario. You're like, yeah, I liked it. It was good. I give it a 2, and I was like, what? No.
Yeah, or when I start giving 2s out and above, that's when you should maybe pay attention to my scores, because I don't like to fuck around with those bottom scores that much. That 1.5 is like that serviceable space, and that 1 is just like you have a hard time justifying it, and then that half is this movie shouldn't exist. It's a waste
I don't
of time
have
and
a
money.
problem giving out
halves.
Yeah. This movie is a 2.
That's funny.
Only because, I still like the horror. I like the gore. I like the slashing.
Yeah.
I like the blood.
Yeah. Horror runs into being stupid really quick.
Yeah.
And this tiptoes right into it.
It sprinted a little.
It sprinted a little bit. I hate it for them. I would have just skipped the obvious Sam's gonna be the killer. I would have skipped to that point. Unless the Sydney thing was a big thing.
Yeah.
My conspiratorial mind tells me she was integral to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, okay, film. Not worth spending your money going to the theater to see it, but maybe worth, you have nothing else to watch and you'll watch it on the streaming site when it's free. I do have one thing.
What you got?
to bring up. So in the scene where Ghostface calls Gail, and she's in her apartment, with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And they're talking on the phone, and she's like, "Hold up," which I thought was funny. That she's like, "Hold up, Ghostface, give me 1 second."
That was funny, yeah.
And then she dials a number. So did she hit redial, and it redialed to his phone, or did she know who he was and she called that person?
I think she was suspicious of who Ghostface was. Called
the cop or whatever.
Called the cop. Yeah.
Like, do you think it was the cop? Did she call the cop?
I would assume she called the cop.
Guess was. Yeah.
And which is fun that we never got to really see that. We never got to see who she pegged as as Ghostface, and so I like that. But
and then part of me was like, did Ghostface have her other house phone? Is he just walking around with a cell phone, or did he take her other house phone and she's looking for her other house phone? You know how you can hit like a button? I think you can hit a button.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And it like calls.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it just left me puzzled.
I think she knew who it was, or she had some, she had a thought. She was like, I think it's the cop.
And then she called
him. It's like, oh shit. And then we, we're like, who did she dial? They could have built that up. That could have been fun. Instead it just was silly. There's some, it's just the old saying, a broken clock is right twice a day, so.
Yep.
Just because, a child makes those really nice marks on that painting or whatever and stuff doesn't mean they're a genius, they just struck gold, kind of thing, so. Hate it for them, but I'm looking forward to the next one. It seems like there's maybe going to be some actual payoff, and I don't know. I hope they don't connect it to the middle one in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, same.
Because the only thing that made this middle movie relevant is that it was Richie's dad.
Yep.
It's like, what?
And they bring back that other girl. What's her name?
Yeah, I guess she's in the other ones. Kirby.
Yeah. But I didn't know she was in the other ones.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Knew that she was like the victim of whatever killer.
Yeah, one of the killers.
So, maybe there's a bunch of Easter eggs that I'm just missing.
Easter eggs don't tell good storytelling.
No. Which I think that makes you appreciate a movie a little bit more.
Or trick you.
Well, it tricks me for sure, and I don't mind being tricked. Because the last Jurassic World. What was it? Dominion? Yeah, I'm sorry, but I loved it. And it was
your nostalgia and fucking just strangled yourself with it.
They did, and I loved it. So take that as you will. I guess
that's fine.
Easter eggs and nostalgia.
I'm glad someone liked it. I'm glad that movie made $1 billion. I'm glad there's someone who liked it. You know what I mean? Because there's one thing about making money. If you make a lot of money, okay. But did anybody appreciate the film who went? You know what I mean?
I did.
I'm glad you did, because if only 10% of the people who liked it, I should say of the $1 billion of people who went and only 10% of them liked it, that's not good. That's not good, you know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping, I hope someone appreciates.
Someone should be out there with me appreciating
that movie. Was probably also very expensive to make. Jurassic World Dominion. That's probably a very expensive movie to make. But
yeah,
I digress.
Maybe I'm a sucker for those things.
That's fine. Like, I'm glad. That's why I wouldn't want any other co-host.
You like suckers?
No, I like people who. I like it when you have different. You have different opinions than I do.
I do think that would make me appreciate maybe seeing the rest of the films and knowing how they connect.
Maybe. This movie's got relatively high scores, so maybe there's something to the nostalgia pulling strings. But as far as filmmaking, storytelling goes, this did not ring true with me.
Don't put all those Easter eggs in one basket, you know what I'm saying?
It almost feels like they put all the Easter eggs in one fucking room. It is... like Mario's like nothing but Easter all day. We got nothing but Easter.
Yeah, Mario's
nothing but Easter,
which is fine.
Throughout the whole movie. But this was just like, we're gonna take our entire legacy and just place it in one room. It's just like, all right, okay. The home footage videos and like the home filmmaking that was like on the projector.
Yeah.
In that room, I thought that was pretty neat. And then when they left after they killed the cop, the curtain was split or like ripped down, down the center, and it was saying directed by Richie, the guy from the first one and stuff. And that was probably my favorite shot in the whole movie. Was that? But I mean, it's not saying much, It's just what I'm looking. I'm grasping at straws here, I'm looking for something, And and I mean, you could probably say this about me, right? I can find something I like about. If I look hard enough, I can find something I like. Right? Would you agree with that? I feel like I am generally pretty good at that.
I think you do find something good about everything.
Thank you.
Especially people.
Oh, especially people.
And I'm like,
that's a tough one.
What? No.
That's a tough one. Do you have any final thoughts? Ready to go?
Yeah, just I think Jenna Ortega should have died. But then if
she's dying in the next one.
If they're using her for the third one, then I'm okay with that. Keep her until you need to kill her. But that's probably what I would change. I don't know. Final thoughts? Nope. No final thoughts.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmsteins. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/filmsteins. And follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmsteins signing off.